Mr. Gorbachev, if you seek peace, open this gate. Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall. It was those 15 words that shook the world and brought the giant known as communism to its knees. One man with an idea, a mission, and the entire free world resting on his shoulders was at the will of two simple but unearthing phrases. Born on a farm in Topeka, Illinois, an average young American boy would someday become the leader of the free world and change the course of history forever. Within that young boy's goals and ambitions, he was much like any other young boy in America at the time. A fan of sports, playing with friends, and listening to his favorite radio show. His parents installed to him at a young age the most ungodly sin was discrimination. At a time when discrimination was the norm in the United States, he always believed that a person should be judged by the content of their character, not their skin. As a two-sport athlete in football and in basketball, he was well known for his athletic ability among his friends and was a well-recognized swimmer at the local pool, being a lifeguard. When Japan had bombed Pearl Harbor at the breakout of World War II, after leaving college, he joined the Army to defend his country. Although a medical requirement kept him from seeing combat, he still served his country as much as he could in radio communications. Being a movie, radio, and TV personality, and known as the Hollywood Screen Actors Guild president, he was most well known for his acting in Bedtime for Bonzo. At a time when America was on the alert for war with Soviet Russia and the communist spies infiltrating American intelligences, he was a firm critic of communism and Russian spies, deeming them all acts of war and murderers of innocent people. His humor and wit never leaves a smile upside down, and I believe the phrase "life of the party" was created for individuals like himself. He never had an interest in politics, but his gut told him something must be done. When most people enter politics, a division is created within two parties. Not with this man. When he entered the party, or in politics, people started calling themselves Reagan Democrats, him being a Republican. They called themselves also Blue Dog Democrats because there was no other political figure in history that could attract people from across the aisle to join him in his fight to make America great. In 1964, he addressed the Republican National Convention as governor of California, being a keynote speaker. His speech was known as A Time for Choosing, which has now been known as a backbone for patriotic speeches and a message to the world about the idea of peace. As the governor of California and president of the United States, he has become a household name to politics around the world and a poster boy for the Republican Party, and a model for conservatives and libertarians everywhere. During his tenure as president, he is the only man to win both elections in the largest landslide in the history of the United States. In 1980, he defeated Jimmy Carter with more than 85% of the popular vote, and in 1984 with more than 95% of the Electoral College vote. He presided over the longest and largest economic expansion in the history of the United States. Being the largest leader on the world stage, he publicly criticized communist nations around the world and their leaders. He is known as the man who beat communism. The Economy Today in 2004, upon his death, had labeled him as the man who beat communism. Even today, youth across America buy shirts with his name and his running mate's shirt on them to exemplify American exceptionalism and patriotism. The greatest American award is presented each year to an American who exemplifies courage, determination, patriotism, and leadership. Notable recipients before have been George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Abraham Lincoln, Martin Luther King Jr., Neil Armstrong, and General George S. Patton. This man will be the 5th president to receive the award. There is no other American whose personal crest written on his heart is love for God, country, and family. While defeating communism in Soviet Russia without engaging in war, showing that democracy does not have to be a blood sport, showing that peace through strength is the best way to reach your friends and allies. The only way to give peace in the world, but most importantly, showing that you should not be afraid to fight. His stewardship brought unity to Americans coast to coast, across party lines, and even around the world. There is no doubt that he is deserving of this recognition. The President is no longer with us. He passed away in 2004. However, his loving wife and former First Lady, Nancy Reagan, is still here with us. She will be receiving the award on behalf of him. Ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased and honored and privileged to present to you the 2015 Greatest American Award to President Ronald Wilson Reagan.